right, so we're at Kelsey Chevrolet in Cincinnati, and we've got an issue with the Corvette. And ironically, it's an issue that Justin Horsepower Obsessed just did a faulty episode on, and I was going to light him up about it, but it's just like it's a lost cause to try to teach that guy anything. And then as fate would have it, it happens to my car, and this is the second time it's happened to me. It's happened a few times, but this one's really severe. This is the worst one. The oil level is tremendously higher, guys. Car just got serviced, and so what most people assume is the dealership messed up, when that's not actually the case. You'll hear here as I explain it to these guys. I can't shut it off because I got to show them something while it's on. My name is Brandon Myers. I bought a car here, but not that particular car. Okay. The reason why I'm leaving it running, I'm not trying to fumigate us all. It's got a really serious issue right now, and I'm familiar with it because I've had it happen before. The oil level raises way up because gasoline gets into the oil. There's a really weird situation on these cars that happens once in a blue moon. I'm the highest mileage z06 driver on earth, basically. That car has 45,000 miles on it. Okay. And that's my second one. All right. So, right now, if you guys want to come out and check the dipstick, I just had the 45,000 mile service done, and on my way back, I was getting gas last night. I was down in Florida. I was getting gas last night in Kentucky, and they say to always check the oil level, and I did, and the oil is sky high, and it smells like gasoline on the dipstick. Okay. In the past, General Motors has not paid for it. They don't want to accept any responsibility for it. And I had to pay to have the oil changed again, but I at least want to document it, because this time around I'm going to file a complaint with what do you call it, United Traffic Highway, whatever it is. Okay. Because it's a serious issue. One time I was like, but I've heard from more and more people that it's happening, and you dealers are getting blamed for it because the customers are being told that the dealerships didn't properly change the oil and left oil in the dry sump system. And so, I mean, this is a big deal.
That's new news for me, because I'm the one that does most of these. Yeah. I had a red one come in, but granted it was, I think, 10,000 miles, and he was complaining that it was over full on oil.
Yeah, I'll tell you exactly how it happens, if you don't mind. Basically what happens is, I'm really savvy on these cars. I've been upgrading 1,000 horsepower Lingenfelter cars since I was 20 years old, so I'm really familiar with fuel systems. And the guys at GM, I got a lot of guys on the inside who communicate with me because they know I know my stuff. This was like a mystery to them at GM. Mm-hmm. They knew it was happening, but they couldn't figure out why. I know it sounds arrogant as hell, but I'm the one who solved it. And so what it is there's one low side fuel pump, and there's two high side fuel pumps on this engine that are cam driven. The issue is there's two wideband sensors, one on each exhaust bank, and the car has a program where neither side is ever allowed to run lean, because running lean blows motors, right? Well, the problem is we think it has to do with bad gasoline when there's a lot of rainfall or snow melt. Because what happens is at the gas stations, they have those manhole covers, and when there's a lot of water standing on the gas station pavement, the water gets into the gas tank below that goes into our cars. The reason why I came up with that theory is because places where it rains a whole lot, like out in Oregon and down in Miami, Florida, this happens a lot. Like I know a lot of guys who it's happened to. So we kind of just put it all together that it has to do with a bad gasoline. So basically what happened is the low side pump is the macro pressure dial. Yeah. Okay, it's voltage driven. So that's what adjusts the PSI by thousands of PSI. Yeah. And the two high side pumps each have a little tiny regulator on them, but they can only do so much. So those are like the micro adjustments, the fine tuning adjustments. Okay. So what happens is, what we think is going on is when the car gets some questionable fuel, one bank starts to run leaner while the other bank is running really rich. Okay, like maybe there's water in one lot. That way we can enter the system. I appreciate you. And Here's the key. And the reason why I left it running is so we can check the oil here.
Yep.
We'll go out and do it right now if you want to. Let's go check it out. I'll document. I'm gonna make a video of the oil. Sorry about the mess. I'm on my way back from Florida. I'm gonna get a drink of water here. Give me a second. I'm gonna get a drink. South of here in Kentucky, but it would have been the gas fill up before that because this last gas fill up's when I noticed it was sky high.
Yeah. You know, you got my name, Danny Pop?
Yeah. Your hand is in it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're just documenting right now. Here's the top dot. His hand is in the oil all the way up here at the serial number. So we are, if you realize that that's a quart right there, we're about 2 quarts too high. So that means 2 quarts of gasoline have been added to the oil reservoir. And does that smell like gasoline?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yep. So, and you're the one who handles the Corvettes here often, does the oil changes and stuff, so you're familiar with them?
Yeah, we don't get them in too often.
Yeah. But you're not just some average Joe off the street. You're one of the techs, basically. So, just to continue to explain here what the issue is, the low side fuel pump can't please both the high side pumps because one's asking to go leaner and the other one's asking to go richer.
Yeah.
And so what happens is the GM computer operates and listens to the one that says we need to go richer, and in doing so it makes the other one super rich. And by making the other one super rich, it washes gasoline down the cylinder walls on that bank, and that bank then puts gasoline down into the crankcase. And then what's happening is these customers that this is happening to are blaming the dealerships. So it's only a matter of time till you guys end up in like some sort of a class action because this ends up blowing motors. Because what happens is that piston comes down and hits the oil, which is too full, bends the connecting rod, and then it's only a matter of time until the engine blows. This car here, ironically, has already been ruled as a lemon because it's got one of the ticking motors and it also experiences detonation pretty frequently, okay? It's cold weather at sea level, so we've already proven it. It's already been in the shop 4 times for engine issues. So that's already done. It's already a closed case. It's going to go back. This is just icing on the cake. I didn't even want this to happen, but this is just icing on the cake. My back wheels with the potholes and everything, I'm just running these in the meantime.
Oh yeah, I don't blame you.
Because the carbon fiber cracks real easy. So this is the lesser of all evils. But if you guys, as the next step, want to reach out to General Motors and say, hey, are you guys willing to cover this oil change under warranty? I have a feeling their answer is no, because that's been the answer in the past with myself and many other people. They've even instructed dealers to take some of the oil out and just send the customer on his way, which is horrible business practice because the oil's diluted 20% by gasoline. So I mean, this has happened to many, many cars. There's a guy in Florida who's an ICE agent, you know, like Miami Vice, who owns one of these, and they were accusing him of tampering with the car, and he's like, guys, and what it is, I told him, there's torrential rains down there in Fort Lauderdale, Miami area, so the water gets in the gasoline. But anyway, see if General Motors is willing to cover it under warranty. Tell them I just got I'll come back in with you and we can make some notes. And then if they're not willing to cover it under warranty, then I might just go mess with it myself, just because this stuff gets pricey. I'm gonna go ahead and shut it off then. You want me to pull it up a little bit? I'm gonna pull it up.
What was the last name you said? I don't know if you had this one in the system. So we can
Byers, B-Y-E-R-S.
I worked with Danny for 15 years.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He knows his shit.
Yes, he did.
I've heard about him long ago when I used to have a C5 back in C5 days, and he was doing real well with the autocross and everything. And everybody's like, if you want to know about cars, go talk to Danny. But
He's a guru. He had a stroke about
that's
2
right.
years ago.
And his son works down there now, right?
Well, so Danny and Nathan both work there, and then Danny left. He's over at Sharonville Alignment Pros now. His buddy owns it.
Yeah,
and so
I'm familiar.
they're letting him do his thing with the mods. I mean,
Yeah.
these people from all across country would ship their best to Danny at McCluskey.
He knows his shit.
He would do 50 to 200,000 in upgrades. He turned into just a race car.
Yeah, like a
modified.
yeah.
Anything you want. And they'd ship it back out, and then they would fly him to wherever the race was, usually Vegas or out west.
Yeah.
He'd race their best, and they'd fly him back home.
Yeah.
He's got the life. Danny is an absolute guru.
That's right.
And it's just the way his mind works. He's
He and I are somewhat similar. I'm not trying to say I'm as good as him, but we're in that level where we really know what's going on.
oh yeah.
And
Especially with a car like this. I mean, it's a big investment. You want to know what you're tinkering with, playing with. I mean,
Yeah.
it's definitely. They're fun
see,
cars,
we're to the point now where we don't think that General Motors is incompetent. We think that they design these intentional magic tricks to get the engines to fail out of warranty. And for every one engine that fails under warranty, you figure 3 will fail out of warranty, and those things cost 30 grand a pop.
Oh yeah, they're not cheap.
And so, from General Motors' point of view, it's either the aftermarket warranty company paying for it, or it's the customer paying for it 3 out of 4 times, you see. And so it's to us, it's a game. So I'm like General Motors' worst nightmare because I've figured out like really what's going on.
Well, we need people like you because there's only so much pull we have at dealership level. And if you get the consumer who's paying for their product to start pushing the envelope,
Yeah.
it helps us.
Are you familiar with the whole fiasco about how the transmissions needed the 2 extra quarts on the regular Stingrays? Guess who started that movement?
Yeah.
That was me. And
Yeah.
everybody online said I was full of shit at first. And I got the guy who helped me prove it lives here in Cincinnati, and he lives on a real steep hill. And we didn't know each other from Adam, and I was basically putting up posts on Facebook about how the lack of the 2 quarts is silly, because how does General Motors know, how does a car know if you're at a racetrack or just going 1.2 lateral G around an exit ramp?
Yeah.
And so I was like, this is stupid. And so it's a shit show waiting to happen. These transmissions are going to start blowing if we don't add these extra 2 quarts to every car. So everybody told me I'm wrong, and they were booting me out of the groups and telling me I'm lying. Well, next thing you know, this guy who doesn't even drive his car fast, he starts hitting me up. He's like, hey man, I keep having transmission issues. Do you think it has something to do with this fluid? And I was like, well, can I come over to your house and check out your car? I'm not far away, coincidentally, from you. And he's like, oh, you're in Cincinnati? I said, yeah, I'm up here a lot. My family's up here and everything. So I went to his house, and as I'm going to his house, I climbed up the steepest fucking hill, and the light bulb went off in my head. I'm like, I said, let me ask you a question. Does the code throw shortly after you go up or down this big steep hill outside? He said, as a matter of fact,
The low
yeah.
pressure code.
Well, what happens is the lack of the 2 quarts, and just to fast forward, GM ends up reinventing the sump system on the cars because of this.
Yeah.
Because of what I figured out. Because I proved that you didn't even have to be going fast to cause the trouble. You could be going down the hill. So I'm the guy who caused all that trouble. Like, small world, right?
Yeah.
So what happened is we go down the hill, and at the bottom of his hill, it does like a little jog to the left, and there's a stop sign. There's a jog to the left and the stop sign. Did you get my name okay? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just attached it to your file that you had in there.
Brandon Byers? Okay, you found it. Cool. And so right there, what it does is the fluid starvation puts air, bubbles, into the valve body, and then what happens is 2 things that are supposed to move in sync are no longer moving in sync because the air bubble acts like a sponge.
Yeah.
And so you got two clutches. One's supposed to disengage when the other one engages. And so that's what causes the transmissions to experience catastrophic failure. That's one of the reasons.
Yeah.
The other reason is they put that too small of a filter on there, and those clog up real quick. And when those clog up, they go into bypass, and all the debris that's in that filter goes back into the valve bodies.
Yeah.
So I could talk for hours.
I've done 1 trans on the Z06. That was up in McCluskey.
Yeah.
That was a wild.
Oh, did you hear about the one that was here?
Yeah, I heard we'd do like 2 of them.
Yeah, that happens
Yeah,
a
they
lot.
kept having valve body issues.
Exactly.
Put 2 on it.
Well, see, and then General Motors tells you guys it's a bad valve body, but the valve bodies are fine. They get clogged with the debris from the filter,
Yeah.
which is too small.
Yeah.
So there's a guy from Tremec who was one of the top managers. He actually was communicating with us, the public, explaining, hey, we know it's an issue. We know the filter's too small. We're trying to teach General Motors to fix this. I told Keith Cornett at Corvette blogger that it's a real situation, that the guys at Tremec are admitting it's a problem. Keith Cornett says, I don't believe you. I made the huge mistake of taking a screenshot, and I'll never do this again, but I sent Keith a screenshot of the Tremec manager's post to me saying it's an issue via private message. I cut off the guy's name, but right next to, on Facebook, there's a little tiny logo of what your profile picture is, that you've seen the message. Keith Cornett threw this dude under the bus so hard, got him fired.
Oh, God.
Yeah, all of a sudden the guy gets called in and to the office at Tremec and says, due to your messages being shared with Corvette blogger, you no longer have a job here.
Well, they admitted too, well, this is from Danny, because he's, with the Corvette world, he knows everyone in GM too, that they knew about the engine problem too, on the Zeos.
Yeah.
And engineering said it's not ready, and
Right.
that's what he said, ship it out.
Right.
And they all knew about it. So Danny knew about it. He goes, wait till you start seeing what the engine ticks are gonna come out. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes,
I have a ticking car.
do you? He was one of them.
And so this car here is a lemon for the tick. Then it ran, now here's the third issue for engines, okay? So we've covered the ticking engine. The third issue is on the C7 z06s. I don't know if you ever heard about the crazy guy on Corvette forum who said he could run every C7 z06 lean if you give him cold weather and sea level at wide open throttle. That's me also, okay? So they banned me from the group, from the forum for that, because they said I was lying. And everybody calls me names and insults me, and then when I insult them back, oh my gosh, you violated the rules, you're gone. So it's like, okay, But anyway, on the C7s, I lemon lawed like 3 C7 Z06s in a row, and then my family members lemon lawed a couple as well, because I said, guys, General Motors is not going to fix these cars because they have to put a second intake fuel pump in them, which is ironically what this one also needs. It solves this actual issue right now that it's in the shop floor, which I'll explain in a second. But they need a second intake fuel pump. They refuse to do it, but I've realized that they know it's an issue and they want the issue to exist because they want the engines to blow once the engines are out of warranty. It's how they make their money.
Yeah.
And so, but anyhow, so this car, I can get it to run lean in the cold weather at sea level. It's experienced detonation, and I pulled it into the dealers down there in South Carolina when it would happen. And then the other crazy thing they do now is GM has disabled the actual check engine light on the dash when this stuff happens.
Yeah.
Because they realized that I could replicate it. So now it's like a hidden code. Was there any detonation code stored in the system?
I can see. You ever service today, brother?
Yeah.
You go pull one in.
Huh?
Just go ahead and pull one in.
Pull it on in?
Yep.
Okay. Sounds good.
Sorry about that. I'm
Oh,
blabbing
you're
away.
okay.
Let's see. Processor, purge valve, voltage, loss of com.
Can you print off those codes?
Yeah, battery voltage, serial data, loss of com, battery voltage. Nothing there for,
Yeah, but go ahead and print that off, because what happens is that loss of comm, it happens when there's detonation for some reason. Sometimes, not always, but. How long ago does it say those were from?
it doesn't give me dates on this. This is just the Savvy scan. I'm required to do another vehicle that comes in. It doesn't give me dates. It just gives you the system, pass, fail, current, history, and the DTC in the description.
That sucks, it doesn't give you a date.
Yeah.
What we've noticed is when there's,
Here, there's a copy for you of the documentation.
thank you.
No problem.
See, because I did have the battery replaced not too long ago, so I was wondering if those were old, but I thought they were.
It probably is. I mean, some of those, especially those voltage, they'll still in there for a while.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So if you guys want to reach out to GM and see if they'll cover that oil change under warranty. Okay. Well, will you give it a shot, just so we have it
I
documented?
got no leg to stand on with that. I mean, GM's
Yeah.
not gonna cover an oil change at $45,000 vehicle.
I know, but it just got done.
Yeah, I understand.
It was just
It's
done.
not a fight that we get involved with.
No.
I think the only way it would be able to be covered is,
With the, in conjunction with a repair that
Yeah.
requires it, they're not gonna cover just an oil change.
But will you, for my sake, that way you guys aren't the bad guy, will you reach out and just tell them, hey, the oil?
Yeah, we can do a
customer-
technical assistance case on Monday.
yeah, I'm
We'll
gonna
just reach out,
send
just
a
tap
case
case
to
that where they got
GM
it.
and see what they say, see if,
Alright.
see
Okay,
if they want us to do like some sort of test or something.
okay, the next issue is, I haven't let this thing shut off. I kept it idling, because I know as soon as I shut it off for an extended period of time, that piston's gonna hit the oil and bend the connecting rod. So I'm in a bind right now, where if you guys can't change the oil today, which I understand, if GM says no, then I've got to go do it myself real quick. Otherwise, I'm gonna bend a connecting rod when I do a cold start after I let the car sit till Monday. You see what I'm saying? So I've got to get the oil changed today, one way or the other. So that's why I was saying, is there any way you could reach out to GM now, and even if their answer is no, that's fine. That way we've documented that they're the bad guys and that they're the ones.
As far as I know, GM's technical
It's closed.
line is closed on the weekends.
I got you. Okay. That's I'm not doubting you. It makes sense.
Come on, we just checked it.
Thank you.
Okay. But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Alright, so John Pennington?
Yes.
Alright, we'll change tire rotation today.
What I might do is I might go let a little bit of oil out of it just to get it down, and but leave that oil in there. Yeah.
Anything else you want me to
That
look
way,
at?
if they wanna
No,
test it,
everything's
for the
Alright,
gasoline.
good. Alright, brother, you're all set. I'll get you out here in, another hour.
In fact, the oil that I take out, I'm gonna send that away to the lab also to check it for the gas. Because we gotta prove this now that this is what's happening with the gasoline. Because it's, you know, I didn't think it was a big deal. The problem is, you know who Justin Horsepower Obsessed is? He's
Yeah.
a big fat white guy. He basically is now siding with General Motors, which he doesn't even realize because he doesn't listen when I try to explain things to him. And I've explained this topic to him before. He basically had one of his customers, or a customer who owns a car, reached out to Justin, who has like 100,000 subscribers, and he's saying Chevrolet stores are screwing up people's cars and adding too much oil. And so now the whole vet community thinks you guys are the bad guys, when in
Yeah.
reality the car has the issue.
I know these can have issues if the car sits for more than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
There can be extra oil in the car when you go to do an oil change. You know, and that's even within GM's information.
Right,
Basically, car comes in hot, do the oil change right when it comes in.
right.
Because if it sits for 10 minutes, that can allow extra oil to sit in
To
other
go to a
places.
spot, yeah, I gotcha. I gotcha. Well, I sure do appreciate you, man. I'm sorry to be a hassle.
Oh, you're fine.
You guys didn't do anything wrong, and I'm not trying to get you guys into a spot. I'm just trying to document everything, because there's a lot of people dependent on me where they're like, Brandon, you're the only one who understands how to solve this stuff and make
Yeah.
GM fix stuff, so.
I think the best way to go with this is basically to somehow
Yeah, submit it
either
on
test an
Monday.
oil sample or something.
Yeah.
So that I can send it to GM. GM can look into it, you know, I mean, probably do a bunch of testing,
Yeah.
and then they can at least try to solve the issue.
They know what the issue is. They try to sweep it under the rug, so we gotta build the case to where even if they sweep it under the rug, I have the evidence to take it to the national highway. That's the only way to get these guys to care, is you just gotta start suing them. I mean, I barked so much online, like threatening that we're gonna, I'm a nice guy, I don't sue people, you know what I mean? I don't, it's not my thing. But when they push me as far as they have, like Taj himself told me that, I met him in 2019. He's like, they're never going to put an extra fuel pump in these cars. He's like, they're just going to keep lemoning you out of it. Because he said, think about the math on the fuel pumps themselves. If it's $300 times 100,000 C7 Z06s,
Yeah.
he said that's you know, like $30 million, I think is what it came out to be. He's like, it's cheaper for them just to give you another car than it is to fix all the others, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's what they keep doing. They just keep lemoning me out of cars, and they don't even blink. And I just keep getting another one. It's like, guys, come on, fix the thing. But it's dangerous because it can blow up the motor and kill us while we're driving fast, you know?
Yeah.
So, all right, well, I sure do appreciate you. Let's chat Monday. Do I have a card of yours, or can you write your number down on this? Write your name and number on the top of that so I got you, and then I'll just reach out to you Monday and see what's going on.
It should be Jeremy's.
Okay.
He'll be the services advisor. He talks to all the customers.
Okay, perfect.
I'll submit a tack case on it Monday.
Okay.
See what they say. See if we can get something started.
Yeah, just
You know,
say,
some sort of testing.
just say I just did the 45,000 mile service in Florida, drove up, and on my way back up in Kentucky, I mean, I literally just picked up the car 2 days ago. So, I mean, I literally just drove straight through. And last night when I checked the oil, because I checked the oil, every gas fill up, it was sky high.
Yeah.
And then my stomach sunk, and I was like, oh shit. So, all right, well, I sure do appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, then if you just want to go all the way down, if it's board, then be out here, brother.
I sure do appreciate you. I'll follow up with you guys on Monday, okay?
That'll work.
Thank you.
Late Monday, because he won't get to Monday morning.
Okay.
It usually takes 24 hours to get back to us.
Okay, sounds good. So that's that. Hopefully you guys learned something there.